Hello, everyone. Recently, a friend of mine came to town to film a bunch of SciShows, and all of his SciShows have gone up on SciShow recently. You could go watch them. They're all very good. I'll put a link in the description so you can go watch. But while he was here, I had him over to my office to talk about what his best fact is, and it was so good. And so, here is that conversation. Everyone, this is Tom Lum. Tom Lum is an educator and internet information distributor.
I was just going
like
to say
me.
Wow. Someone did say when you were on our podcast, they were like, it's a little hard sometimes to tell Tom and Hank. I think that's in part because I watched a lot of that as a kid. So that's
It's hard to tell us apart?
vocally, I think they said
Oh, yeah. I was like, we do look not super the same.
No, generally, yeah.
I'm like 45 and you're Asian.
Oh, no, say more nice things about who I am and what I do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Tom has a great YouTube video out about how we know how old things are. Very good, and it helped me understand things that I didn't understand. And I'm in it.
And that's why you like it.
And I loved that part. I was funny the whole time I was on screen. That's all I can ask for. But Tom also has a great podcast that I've been on. It's called...
Let's Learn Everything with an exclamation mark.
And you can listen to it. It's really good. One of the things I'm trying to do as people apparently keep coming to Missoula is when I come to my office, I want to ask them what their best fact is. Just to talk about what makes a good fact. Because this is the job, is to like tell people facts, but in ways that make them want to keep listening to you and also make their understanding of the world more accurate.
Yeah.
I could tell you what I'm working on right now.
Yes, go
if you
for it.
want to. We grow a lot of corn in America, more than they do anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage of corn grown in the U.S. is eaten by people?
10%?
2. What percentage of corn do you think is eaten
By animals? Is that like 15, 20?
It's more than that. What
Okay.
would the rest of it be?
I thought that was gonna be the reveal, is that the rest of it all trash.
It's
Okay.
40% is eaten by animals.
That's still
and
low.
another
That's still
40%.
really low, yeah.
Another 40% is eaten by something else that isn't humans or animals. What do you think it is?
Aliens.
It's aliens.
Not funguses?
No, cars.
Cute. That's
40%
yeah.
of the corn in America is turned into ethanol
Ethanol?
that is burned in cars.
Is it really? That's
40%.
because I remember, I feel like as a kid reading one of those like student news articles about like, we can turn corn into fuel and
Yeah.
this will be the future. And we talked about a thing in the past and then it actually kind of
That
happened.
just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns
That's
out
really
ethanol
nice.
was the future, but it turns out it's probably not great. If you take into account the carbon emissions from the land use change and also the carbon emissions of the processing of the corn into the ethanol, it's about the same as burning gasoline. It might be a little worse. And the reason this happened, and the reason corn syrup happened, and corn oil happened, and corn chips happened, and all this stuff,
Formation of the
and
planet.
also, well, back in the day, there was a
Heavy elements sank to the bottom.
in the 60s or 70s, they switched it so that they would pay the difference between, if the corn market crashed, they would pay you for like the price that corn would be. So they basically, like, the government would make up the difference. So you'd always get paid a good rate for your corn no matter how much of it you make. People who have farmland can create corn forever and get paid for
Infinite
it.
money.
They can as much corn as they can make, and that has increased the amount of corn, which is basically means that if you want to buy corn, it's free. To me, it's a good fact because it's shocking. Because when I think of corn, I think of the stuff that I put into my mouth.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't think of burning it in a car.
Yeah.
But also, it's like the country of America is so big and powerful that if we, like, you cannot know the impact of a policy when you pass it. So, like, somebody is like, it doesn't make sense to pay farmers to not grow corn. We should pay them to grow it and just guarantee them a price. And what you get at the end of that is this wild situation where, like, hamburgers are super cheap and, like, 10% of what creates movement in cars is corn.
It's corn.
Is the grass corn.
Also, to be clear, we are self-censoring ourselves. We do mean porn. We've been saying that, but we've just been saying corn.
The U.S. government pays farmers
to not make
to
corn.
not make corn.
My co-host on Let's Learn Everything, Ella, her favorite fun fact is that kangaroos have 3 vaginas.
Yeah.
Which is, I love because it does have, first of all, much like all respect for like a good one-line joke, the efficiency of syllables there for maximum value. The one that I wanted to go for that I was very happy with, but it's like a magician's magic trick, right?
Yeah.
Or one that like you show to other magicians. Because you know there's 2 tallest mountains in the world, right?
Sure, at least. Depends on there's 3 depending on how you count.
Well, Oh, are you going for like underwater ones? I don't care. That's sure, fine.
From base to top.
That is
and then
true.
there's
Yeah,
altitude from sea level, and then there's closest to the space.
To the stars, right?
Closest to the stars.
The tallest by sea level is Mount Everest. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And then that was always the phrase closest to the stars, which I do like, and that does win me points for that team.
Yeah.
And I do remember the name of that mountain.
I don't.
Just give me just real stretching over here. The one close to the stars is Mount Chimborazo, and I think when you first learn this fun fact, it's very easy to be on that side, Mount Chimborazo side, because you're like, actually, that one is taller because it is it's closer to the stars. And again, whoever came up with that tagline, like that's great, really great.
Because we're such dorks and we both knew this fact already, we didn't actually say, so I have to add here that the reason Chimborazo is closer to the stars is because there's a bulge at the equator, and so it actually is closer to the stars because the bulge adds like considerable distance to how far away from the Earth's core the peak of Chimborazo is, and thus also how far the peak of Chimborazo is to the stars. So now with that in hand, the rest of the video hopefully will make sense.
The thing that fully convinced me...
Are you fully convinced that Chimborazo is the biggest?
Oh, no. Tallest? I'm fully Team Everest now.
Oh, you're Team Everest. Boring, but also...
Well, no. This is, for me, the importance of sea level is that, first of all, sea level is sea level, but sea level is also gravity level.
Yes. There's a reason why it's that.
There's a reason it
matters. There's a reason why the Kármán line is above sea level, not like a sphere around the Earth.
That's the line that is designated as entering space.
Above that is space, which is just like 100 kilometers or something. It's like defined as a random number.
Yeah. The metaphor that made it click for me, why I'm Team Everest, if you built a slide from the top of connecting Everest to Chimborazo, you would slide down Everest to Chimborazo.
Oh. Why?
Because
of gravity.
Because of gravity.
That's a fun fact.
Oh, yeah, it worked. We did it.
Are you sure?
I think so. Well, there's only one way to find out. I would love Randall Munroe to
it feels like a Randall
make a
Munroe
chapter in the book to say I'm wrong. Listen, I'm happy. Here's another way to think of it. If you started to fill the Earth with water, you just poured water onto the Earth, the last point that would be submerged would be Everest. Right.
And in that world, you are right. The slide has to go down from Everest to Chimborazo.
So that's interesting. Okay, good. I'm glad.
I like that a lot. That's wild. Tom, thank you for joining me on my new show, Your Favorite Fact.
That works. That's good.
The best fact. I don't know.
That full sentence with the ellipses in there. Yeah, that's the one thing to workshop.
I don't think that people like us think about it that much.
I think. I mean, clearly,
we think about it all the time, but I don't think that we think about the fact that we think about it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Comedians used to just make jokes, and now they think about their jokes all the time. I feel like science communicators should spend more time thinking about their facts.
Thank you for chatting. It was really nice.
It was great to see you. I'm so glad you're in Missoula.
Woo-woo.
Okay, I gotta go.
Content, baby.
All right, go check out Tom on SciShow, and if also you want to support the work that SciShow and the rest of Complexly does, the Complexly calendars are 30% off right now at complexly.store. We need to get them out. We need to get them out. If people don't buy them now, we're gonna have to throw them away because they are kind of year dependent.